Hey guys, welcome to another episode of
Mindset Mondays.
So I'm so excited to bring you guys this episode this week. It's something that Mike and I know are very passionate about because who doesn't love to
Sleep.
sleep?
It's my favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing. I love sleep. But why is sleep important? Why might you want to sleep? I mean, most of us actually don't prioritize sleep. Let's be honest. Most of us sleep is an afterthought. It's like, okay, get home, pack lunches, make dinner, whatever that looks like, and finish my list, and I will get to bed between this range of time, and I'm not tired, so I'm going to stay up, and I'm going to finish the show, and this and that, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're going to bed at midnight or later.
So I think that's a great point, and I think one of the funniest things that I find is how when any parent out there, you prioritize the sleep of your children, right? Every single parent out there says, I got to make sure my kid's in bed at a certain time, generally. I mean, obviously there's days they stay up later, but kids are going to bed on the right time. Kids are doing their bedtime ritual, whatever that might be, whether it's reading books or, you sit down and have a talk with them, whatever you do, but the way we set up sleep for kids is how we should do it right through our entire lives, but everybody forgets that.
And somewhere along the lines, it gets all mixed up. And I like to blame it on teenagers.
I blame it on the internet.
I say that because as a teenager, we were sleeping for like 10, 11 hours, and it was all over the clock. And so I feel like that's where sleep got messed up for me.
I blame the internet because everybody has a smartphone, and the second they're going to bed, they pull out their smartphone and scroll through Facebook, scroll through Instagram, and blue light before you go to bed.
Not so great.
Not the hottest idea.
Okay, so first, let's talk about prioritizing sleep. How much sleep do we need?
Average is 8 hours is what it should be, but I mean anywhere from that 7 to 9 is kind of your sweet spot.
The sleep experts are definitely saying right now 7 to 9 hours, depending on the person, because genetically, biologically, we need different amounts of sleep. There are caveats to that. There's some people that just simply do better on that 6 to 7 hours, and there's some people that do better at the 9 to 10 hours. So depending on where you're at in that range, but 7 to 9 is the main range.
And on top of that, well, what hours should you be going to bed?
So we need to look at circadian rhythm,
100%.
And most people should be waking up with the sun and going to bed with the sun. That's how normal circadian rhythm works.
So that doesn't work all the time, obviously. There's the instances where it's the middle of the winter and the sun is down at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're not going to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But think of kind of the prime time for the sun, right? Even if it's summer, right? So in bed by 9, 10, something like that. And then up at the crack of dawn. Ooh.
That's not going to happen.
Ooh.
Maybe if you're a farmer. So we're looking at that 7 to 9 hours. We're prioritizing it with our circadian rhythm, and we are just having a hard time falling asleep. Why might that be?
Big thing that most people do, I'm going to call it wrong straight out, is people have TVs in the room nowadays. People like to have their screen time before they go to bed. I have friends who legitimately fall asleep with their TVs on.
So blue light before bed is not good. So blue light is the light that is coming from screens, from tablets and cell phones and TV screens. So that has been actually shown to be very detrimental to the quality of sleep, to falling asleep, because it doesn't signal your brain that it's time to sleep.
It also specifically doesn't allow you to get into your REM and your deep sleep cycles, which are the most restorative cycles of your sleep, as efficiently.
Most people also have their cell phones beside their bed, and they hear a ding and they roll over and they need to check Facebook or something like that. So a big piece to that is if you're using your cell phone as an alarm, spread your arms out. The distance of your arms should be how far away your cell phone is, because then you actually get up for your alarm, for one, because you have to turn it off, and two, because that way it's far enough away that you're less likely to just roll over and check it.
Okay. So that's kind of when you should go to sleep, and that's how you kind of set up for sleep. What else do you do?
So there's other things that can affect sleep, especially hormones can be very affecting to sleep, and especially within menopause. And when we look at hormones and menopause and it's affecting sleep, it's usually due to things like hot flashes and night sweats and those kinds of things. So if you want to prioritize optimizing that, if you know you're going to have night sweats and you're going through menopause, have a change of clothes, have a change of sheets, whatever that might be that you need, right beside your bed, and be prepared for it. Because when you're not prepared and you're like, oh, I need to change the sheets, and it's like this big ordeal. Whereas if you're just prepared and you're ready for it, it's already there, so you can wake up, you can quickly change things out, and then you can go back to sleep very quickly. With hot flashes, you can have that fan or whatever you find as a cooling aspect near you, so again, you're prepared.
Outside of hot flashes and outside of
Hormones.
A big thing that I want to throw out there is keeping your room cool. Kayla likes to sweat to death while in bed, but the room itself is always pretty cool, because an ideal sleeping room is a room that is cool and dark.
They actually say 17 to 18 degrees is how cool your room should be. So average room temperature is 21 degrees, so you can see that is quite a bit cooler than average room temperature. So we tackled the temperature, we tackled blue light, we've tackled hormones slightly, and we've tackled, I guess, that's it. That's what we tackled.
One more thing I'm going to tackle is, for myself, for Kayla, when we go to bed, it is kind of the nightly ritual to get into a state ready to sleep. So you're in your pajamas, you brush your teeth, you're ready for bed.
What is your routine?
Routine is key, right? So my big thing I love to do is breathing meditation every night before I go to bed. I will literally just lay there, ready to go to sleep, and it's me starting my box breathing, and then extended breath, exhales and holds, and I put myself to sleep like a baby every night like that.
I personally like to read right before I go to bed. I occasionally do some sort of meditation if it resonates with me that day. Sometimes like some light journaling if you're feeling really anxious and you need to get stuff off of your brain because your brain is continuously going. Having a notebook beside your bed to journal and just get it all out so you don't have to try and remember it or think about it through the night. So those are like some really good tips with sleep. So now let's just talk really briefly about why might you want to prioritize sleep? Why is this important?
Sleep is your recovery. If you are an athlete, if you go to the gym, if you lift weights at all, sleep is where you make your gains. Your body is restoring itself at night.
Right. And so recovery is a huge one. It's also really about your brain function as well. They've actually been able to prove that somebody that is sleep deprived is equally as dangerous behind the wheel as somebody who is drunk.
And this has actually been proven with shift workers as well. So if you are a shift worker and your sleep schedule is completely off, I come from a firefighting background, you are sleep deprived, and you can technically, I know a guy who actually lost his license because he was not allowed to drive at night anymore.
Yeah. So there's lots of things that we need to think about. And then if you're a weight loss client or somebody that's looking to lose weight, you can actually stall your weight loss by not optimizing your sleep. And so there's just a whole bunch of things. We end up binging more, we end up eating higher carbohydrate, more palatable foods. And it's like a trickle effect. And I mean, let's be honest, a person that doesn't really sleep very well or sleep very much is not always very pleasant to be around.
Okay, so hot points from this one: sleep in a cool room, sleep in a dark room, turn off your TV, tablets, phones, whatever you can, at least a half hour, if not a full hour beforehand. If you got a mind dump you got to do, journal it out.
Get a nightly routine going.
Whatever that routine is, and stick to it.
And be prepared for anything that might come at you in the night, not like monsters or something like that, but I mean like
they're coming out of the closet.
But I'm meaning things like hot flashes, or maybe you need a sip of water in the night. Be prepared for those kinds of things. It's totally normal to wake a couple times in the night, so if you say I'm a light sleeper and I wake several times, that's very normal. It's just about getting back to sleep. If you're using a Fitbit or some sort of other smart device that is tracking sleep, just be aware it can be off by 30 to 40%. We always recommend that you track sleep in, say, a sleep journal, tracking the time you go to bed, the time you wake up, and the quality of sleep. And that way you can actually see over a course of 2 weeks or more how much sleep you actually function best on, or what is your optimal sleep, and what is the optimal routine that you need in order to get to sleep.
They actually have some pretty cool new products out too. They have Oura rings, they have I think it's called a Woohoo. It's like a little band you wear around your wrist that tracks your sleep, tracks your HRV, and they're actually fairly, as far as tracking items go, they are kind of the cat's meow. So
lots of things to think about, guys. We have way more knowledge on sleep. If you guys want to know more, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us. Ask us questions for a Q&A live. We love questions. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook, and stay tuned for more videos like this.
have a great day, guys.